Craving wings at 3 a.m. I know I have, but what if our favorite spot for late night cravings is in trouble?
Yeah, after 42 years, Hooters might be on the verge of bankruptcy.
So before we get into that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insight. So Hooters, things haven't been the same since Nordbay Capital and Triartisan Capital Advisors bought Hooters of America back in 2019.
No, they haven't. And 2024 was a rough year for them. They closed around 40 locations, blaming it on market conditions. And then they had to pay out $250,000 to settle a racing color lawsuit.
And then there's that $300 million in asset-backed bonds they issued in 2021.
Right. That's a common but risky move for restaurants. They're using their future earnings to get cash right now. You can think of it as taking out a loan, but instead of the bank, it's investors who are betting on the company's success.
This kind of feels like a bigger issue than just Hooters, though. The entire restaurant industry has been struggling. I mean, restaurant prices have gone up by almost 45% since 2015.
Yeah, it's been a perfect storm, you could say. The pandemic hit dine-in restaurants hard, supply chain issues pushed up ingredient costs, and now people just have less money to spend eating out.
And we can't forget the rise of those food delivery apps. I mean, they are convenient, but they add costs for restaurants. Mod Pizza is a perfect example. They had over 500 locations and still filed for bankruptcy this year.
And they aren't alone. 6 pizza chains went bankrupt this year, including Mary's Pizza, which had been around for 65 years. It really makes you think, you know?
Yeah. Is it just bad luck or something more systemic? What's causing these established brands to just crumble?
I think it's a mix of things. You have economic pressure, American palates are changing, and then you have the influence of venture capitalist investors who push for rapid expansion and high returns, which can lead to unsustainable growth.
So is this the end of the road for those orange shorts and chicken wings? The end of Hooters?
Well, not necessarily. Remember TGI Fridays? They declared bankruptcy in November of last year, but are still operating.
So this is more of a restructuring than a complete shutdown.
Right, and you also have to remember there is a distinction between Hooters and Hooters of America. Hooters of America is the one filing for bankruptcy. Original Hooters actually operates separately with locations in Florida and Chicago, and they might be able to weather the storm because they're not tied to the same financial burdens.
There's still some hope for Hooters fans then, at least in certain areas. But this whole situation makes you wonder, what does Hooters' potential bankruptcy tell us about the restaurant industry as a whole?
I think it's a wake-up call. Restaurants have to be able to adapt if they want to survive. Consumer preferences are changing, the economy is volatile, and technology is transforming how we eat.
So what can other chains learn from all this? What can they learn from Hooters?
Adaptability is key. The places clinging to outdated models are going to have a hard time. You just have to look at the rise of ghost kitchens, virtual brands, and subscription services. It's a whole different game now.
And data analytics, customer relationship management, that's got to be more important than ever.
Absolutely. Using data to understand your customers and tailor what you offer is crucial in such a competitive market. It's all about anticipating what customers want next.
Hooters does have a strong brand identity and a pretty loyal customer base, though.
Yeah, nostalgia is powerful, but you can't just rely on past successes. They have to connect with younger generations and create new memories.
So what trends should we be watching for? What does the future of the restaurant industry look like?
Well, we'll likely see a continued shift toward more personalized and experiential dining. Consumers want more than just a meal. They want an event, an Instagrammable moment, a story to tell.
So creating a sense of community and connection.
Exactly. And sustainability and ethical sourcing are going to be even more important as consumers prioritize those values. It's about appealing to the head and the heart.
And technology is going to continue to be a big factor, from automated kitchens to AI-powered ordering. What do you think will happen to Hooters in the long run? Do you think they'll make it?
It's hard to say for sure. If they streamline operations, innovate, and reconnect with their core customers, they might be able to pull through, but they have to act fast and adapt to this changing landscape.
It seems like in the restaurant industry, the only constant is change.
That's for sure. The future belongs to those willing to embrace it.
This is more than just a business closing down, you know?
Yeah, restaurants are gathering places, social hubs, even cultural touchstones in a lot of ways.
Think about all the first dates and the birthday dinners and family gatherings that happen in places like these. It's about shared experiences.
And those experiences are even more valuable as the world becomes more digital and disconnected.
It really is a reminder to support our local restaurants and think about all the hard work that goes into creating those moments for us.
I agree. And we as consumers have a role to play too. Our choices shape the future of the industry.
That's a good point. So next time you're trying to figure out where to eat, maybe venture outside the familiar, try something new, support a local business, you might be surprised at what you find.
You really might. And you just might end up making some new memories too.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us as we took a look at restaurants and bankruptcy.
It's been quite a ride.
It really has. Until next time, stay hungry for knowledge.
And remember, the best stories are always on the menu.